we as Christians are called to go into the public arena to correct error with truth. So I go to college campuses and there's a lot of error. We're all sinners. We all live in error. I'm far more interested in what God wants of me than what I want from God.
That's just the way it is. This nation will never be the same.
Welcome back to Los Digitals, everyone. Today's video is a little bit different. This is going to be a special tribute to Charlie Kirk. So this was originally going to be a Los Digitals podcast episode, but unfortunately our mics, just us two, did not work. We didn't want that to stop us from giving you all the video and honoring Charlie Kirk's life. So we just formatted the video in asking the guests, co-host guests, extra special guests, the questions, and we put it in a way where we could share Charlie Kirk's best moments, best quotes, and what they're gonna take away from his legacy. So we hope you enjoy it, and let's get into it.
How did you find out about Charlie Kirk?
I think I came across him through Candace Owens.
I want to say mom, but always be watching his videos. So yeah, I mean I can't really remember like the first time, but I know it's for sure through mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's that? Who's debating? Who's that? Who's this kid? And it was really, I think, exciting to see somebody with not only the courage to be out there in the field, because you see the people debating online and things like that, but this was a person that would go to the campuses and had legitimate ways to explain thoroughly with just words what his viewpoints were and why he agreed on the things that he was agree on. And I think for the most part, is like it was always exciting to see him like do that. And I think we need more of that. And one of the things that I was, and this already happened before mom passed. I was like, there's a lot of, there's two types of, there's many types of like quote unquote influencers, but I remember telling mom, like, we need more influencers like that, because these are the influencers that actually communicate ideas, and that can articulate those ideas and actually influence somebody to understand like why there's so much divide and things of that nature. Versus just people that are more shallow, and there's nothing against other types of influencers, but he was a special.
He knew how to articulate.
And regardless of the age, you could resonate to what he was saying. And I did believe he was going to be a president. I did. You did? Yeah, I felt that he was going to become a president. And like, oh, he should definitely run for president.
He got asked that often if he was ever going to run for president. I think the last one that I saw, he said his answer was that he didn't know. He wanted to help J.D. Vance win for the next election, and that he liked what he had going on, that he liked that he didn't have to walk through eggshells, like censor himself, that he really enjoyed what he was doing. So I think if anything, he probably would have supported somebody like J.D. Vance, like he wanted to support J.D. Vance. So maybe that's what he would have continued to do, like just push the next candidate.
Well, he was too young for someone to run. Yeah, he's
too young.
I think the age is 35, so he still had at least 31. So he would have been 34 for the next election. So yeah, he would have been the 49th president.
Well, he would have not the next one because he was rooting for J.D. Vance. Maybe not the next two, right? Because the next two elections, he would. So he would
have been the 50th president.
Which Charlie Kirk quote stands out to you the most?
Martin Luther said, "Even if the world was ending today, I would plant an apple tree." My main message to every church, every campus, every believer is that you could be disgusted, depressed, disgruntled at the macro, but you have zero excuse to not act boldly and courageously in the micro. You must continue to pour in, to build big families, to build strong churches, to expand businesses. The enemy would love nothing more than to create a sense of paralysis amongst believers, the last best hope for liberty, because things look really bleak on the outside. What are you going to do If you have not lost anything significant in the last couple of years, you're a spectator and you're not in the arena. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I chose that one specifically because for me, it felt like a truth that I actually lived through. For me, it was, and this goes along with mom. Like when we first got married, you know, we were 17, 18, and there was like everybody around us, like we did have support. I'm not gonna say we didn't have support, but the messaging from the people around us was very negative, and it almost felt like no hope. And I always had hope. I always had hope in building, like with mom, and building a family. And regardless of like the resources that we had or not, we always fought hard to get ahead. And I think the message with Charlie right there, the one what he was talking about was specifically that, like, don't let the people tell you that there's nothing that you can do right now, that you're useless. Don't let them don't let them dim your light. I mean, he said other words, but ideally that's what I took from it. Like, you know, build big families, build big business, build you know, people around you, plant an apple tree for the future. Regardless of what you're going through, you have the opportunity to expand and do more than what people around you are telling you that you can do. And I think a lot of the negativity in this era is that I think a lot of people feel that they have like a lack of hope. But when you really think about it, like, you live in America, and sometimes you need some outside perspective, and that's why I think a lot of the people that come into America do sometimes better, because they have contrast. They can see other different. They've had it differently than the way we've seen it. So it's something that I see in this generation, like, not necessarily negativity, but a lack of thinking that you can do it, and that there's actually an opportunity for you in this country. But yeah, that's why I chose that.
So there's so many Charlie Kirk videos that I love, but this one it's a recent one, and it just stuck with me because obviously what happened, and it's where he comes out in a podcast, and I think the podcast released in June, and he was asked like what he wanted to be remembered by.
How do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I die?
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. Most important thing is my faith in my life.
That's how he summed it up, courage for his faith, and I feel like he achieved that. There is another video that's the one I like, but I couldn't find. I don't know if it's that same. No, it was the other guy. It was another podcaster that asked him also, and he responded with, he wanted to make sure that when he gets to the gates of heaven, that God was going to be like, I know you did everything in your power, right? Like, so that was another one, because I think they asked him if he wasn't afraid of threats, of violence, like that, because he was putting himself out there. He was very vulnerable, and that was one of his responses, that they take precautions, but basically, you know, he was here to spread a message, and that was his main goal. And I think he accomplished it, because I feel like ever since he passed away, like if his Instagram account went up, his wife's Instagram account went up, his organization, the Turning Point USA, went up. Like, everything's going up millions. So I feel like his voice is getting louder now.
When you have a challenge in front of you, there's two directions. One is you're gonna actually like step up to it and do as much as you can to overcome it, or you're gonna give up. That's the only two options. Now, the first option, where you actually tackle it and do whatever you can to fight, is what really, like, that's what the challenge is for. Because regardless if you fail or not, you're gonna end up in a place where you have some sense of integrity towards yourself as a human being, as a son of God, to understand that you did your best, and that's all that matters. You tried. You did your best. And yeah, exactly. You weren't a coward. You were about it. And you know, the beautiful thing about life is that nothing's promised. There's a reason why we're attached to him, whether we know him or not. And the same thing that Kat has always like said, like, oh, he's like a little brother. Like, that's the way it kind of sounded, like this young kid that I admired. You know, I'm 10 years older than him, so I saw him like as this. You always look at when you see kids like that, you see their potential, and you see what they're doing, and it as you know, they're the ones teaching you, and they're younger.
Yeah.
So you know, it's extremely.
I didn't realize how young he was, like, until like a few months ago. Like, yeah, like, that's crazy. Like, I feel like he lived so much, or so many lives in his short 31 years. Yeah. He accomplished a lot.
Well, I made a song for Charlie. One of the lines that I added, because it was very like impactful, and it's something I think about a lot, is like he's never gonna be able to walk his daughter down the aisle when she gets married. Because for me, I was like, that's one of the first things that came to mind when I saw he had kids. For us, like as parents, we look forward to moments like that. Those are the things that, like, you know, we think about when it's tough. When things are tough, you think about those moments, because they inspire you to like wake up and get your things together. Like, oh, like whether it's your health, whatever it is, like those are the things that and then they're small things, right? But they have a lot of meaning, and they have a lot of power. I think what people really got to do is educate themselves. Yeah. And I think that's where, like, for me, that was the awakening. The awakening was not like buy a MAGA hat, or like, oh, or you know, there's people like screenshotting, people that are celebrating his death. Like, that's not the energy. That's not. I'm like, live like him.
Yeah.
Like, embody his being. You know, being educated,
Positive. Be positive.
Yeah, being respectful, being somebody that can have a conversation, have courage to have a conversation when it doesn't feel right. Yeah. And I think those are the things that we gotta take from this, versus
to honor him.
Yeah, to honor him, and to honor, you know, ourselves too, honor our nation.
What's the biggest lesson you've taken away from Charlie Kirk?
You gotta have hope, and you gotta have courage, and no matter what people are telling you, if you're breathing, and you have, you know, a mind, and you have you're healthy, you have an opportunity, and you can do a lot. And I think we should always look at life like that. We should look at life as an opportunity. Every day is an opportunity for you to do something, to improve yourself, and to overcome the difficulties that are in front of you. And nobody has it easy. Nobody, like, from rich to poor, nobody has it easy.
Yeah.
We all are dealing with different things and different situations. And I think for me, that is like that is the truth. The truth is that you have an opportunity. And I think a lot of people don't see it like that. And I think that's why I feel like that's an important message to get from him.
His family stands strong in faith, knowing Charlie is with the Lord.
Well, I wanted to ask you, like, because you were listening to his wife.
Oh, yeah, that was so sad.
And I only heard for about a minute. I didn't get to listen to the whole thing, but I listened to a minute. And she spoke about how, I think that, and it gave me goosebumps when I was listening to it. She said something along the lines of, if you think this is going to
quiet him down, or something, yeah.
Him down, it's only going to amplify it. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. When she said that, I was like, oh my God. So, dude, first of all, I don't, like, to have the courage to even just speak.
Be in front of the camera.
Be in front of a camera. That's courage right now. Because that was deep. That was deep. And that was...
And that, I think that's exactly, like, what you're referring to, like, to just remember Charlie. That's what at least that's what she implied, that's what she's going to do. Like, the tours are not canceled. They're going to continue. So she's inviting people to go to the next. I think there's like a festival coming up in I can't remember the date, but it's I think the 21st of this month. So she's inviting people, like it's not stopping, it's not slowing down. It's not like, let me take a month to mourn and I'll be back. No, she's like head on, like she's full strong going forward. And yeah, that was like super powerful to hear her words, because she would fall apart. Like she would like cry, but she would like, I'm pretty sure she got the courage from him, because she was in his office. Like she kept touching his empty chair, where he would do the podcast every day. Like she was like right there next to it. And I think the part that like, I was like trying to hold it in the whole time. And the part that got me was the one that I told you where she gets back home and the little girl runs to her and she's like, hi, mommy. And she hugs her and everything. And she's like, where's daddy? And the little girl's 3. And she's like, your daddy's on a work trip, like with Jesus. Like he's trying to, you know, like he's working so hard to afford, I don't know what she said. Cause at that point I was like, oh my God. I like that she shows that vulnerability. Like sometimes like when you see people like public figures, they're either like completely absent or completely stoic. And she was like super vulnerable. Like, so that made her like so relatable to me, like as a mom. Like it's like you're just trying to hold it together and not fall apart, but at the same time you're falling apart. Like it's in some weird way, like I feel like they have comfort in knowing that his faith was so strong that he's with God. Like he's right next to him. And I want to feel like that comfort when my day comes, like, and I want you guys to have that comfort. Like when we die, like I want you guys to be comforted at least by the thought that we are safe. You know what I mean? Like we are in the afterlife. So I think that's why she had a lot of strength too. Like, and also I think she's honestly getting strength from him. Like that's what he would have wanted. That's what he stood for. So I don't think he would want her to cower and hide. And, you know, like I think she even said it, like, this is what he would have wanted. But I want to just like learn how to read the Bible and get closer to God somehow. Yeah, because like I think he's resting next, like with God. Like I think he's literally right there next to him, because he was so he was a man of faith. Like he had just had so much faith that he knew where he was going.
I think my closing remarks, I had already kind of said them, but ideally just embody living like Charlie. You know, don't embody the opposite forces. Don't embody the traits of the opposite forces. Embody Charlie stood up for and what he lived. Embody his being and use that to live. Use that as an example to like, what would Charlie do? You know, and do that. That's what you should be doing, not the other stuff.
That's just the way it is.